Today I'm going to answer the question of, should parents allow their children to participate in contact sports? The answer to that is no, and here's why. One of the main reasons why children shouldn't be allowed to participate in contact sports is because their brains are still developing, and if a child has a brain injury, they can endure more trauma. Concussions are injuries to the brain due to a jarring blow. When a child between the ages of 6 to 13 is involved in a contact sport, they are more susceptible to concussions. There are many young athletes who aren't educated on the severity of a concussion or the concussion protocol, so there is a higher chance of them developing more severe trauma to their brain. As the child is progressing in the sport and continues to receive concussions that aren't treated properly, they can be exposed to a severe brain injury called chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. CTE is a brain degenerative disease that occurs in a person who has received many blows to the head throughout their life. CTE can cause changes in behavior with symptoms such as memory loss, confusion, and paranoia. Those who are at higher risk of developing the disease are individuals who have an extensive history of concussions. The two most common sports with athletes who develop CTE are football and hockey. Brain injuries and concussions are a very serious topic, and the unfortunate truth of the matter is that individuals are not taking it serious. There are a few training classes for coaches and parents, but these aren't very common. Although some of the coaches are being trained, it is not likely they are aware of the severity. Not only are brain injuries a concern in athletes, but also other physical injuries. Physical activities are important to a child, but with activity level becomes more rigorous, the muscle tissue in the child begins to break down, which makes the possibility for injury to increase. Injuries such as tendinitis, the inflammation of a tendon, stress fractures, tiny fractures in bones caused by overuse, and bursitis, joint inflammation, were seen more frequently in children who are involved in contact sports.
Venom with the first down at the Storm 35.
Come on, stop him, Storm!
Oh, that's a headshot. That was a headshot. Hey!
He's having a seizure! He's having a seizure. Are you okay?
Get out of my way.
Oh, never mind.
Get out of my way.
He's okay. He's okay.
That was a headshot.
Come on, Rev.
I'm here with Will Stayschool, assistant coach for the Wilmington Colts, and this is his first year as a coach. So, tell me about yourself and coaching.
Well, this is my first year as an assistant coach for the Wilmington Colts. I grew up playing football, watching it on TV every Sunday, and so far I really like it. The kids are cool, but mainly I love teaching them how to play and watching them grow.
So, what are the ages of the kids you're coaching?
These kids are typically between 10 and 11 years old.
Is this tackle football, flag football?
Tackle football.
Have you seen any injuries?
Well, many of the kids leave the games with some scratches, bruises. Most come to us the day after a game and complain that they're sore, which is typical, but other than that, we've had none this year.
No concussions?
No, none that I know of, at least.
So if one of the athletes gets hit in the head pretty hard, what would you do?
He'd come to the sidelines, and coach would ask him how he was feeling, and if he said he was fine, then he'd go back. If he said he wasn't feeling too well, then we would sit him out until he felt better.
There's no concussion protocol?
Again, not that I'm aware of.
What about any other injuries?
Usually the mom or dad would come down and take them over to the doctor.
Do you guys get any training on what to do if a child is injured?
We are CPI certified, but other than that, no, we don't have any training.
Okay. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for you, and thank you for coming to talk with me.
Thank you.
Along with physical trauma, there are also psychological risks in youth sports, such as self-esteem issues, coaches that allow their ego to get in the way, and poor relationships with overly invested parents. There are many young athletes that are put to a standard that they have to be the best on the team to play. For the athletes that aren't performing to this standard, they feel defeated, which can cause a change in their character. In athletics, win or lose, as long as they are having fun, that is all that matters. Another alarming factor that goes into youth sports is a coach that has too large of an ego. A coach that has a win-it-all mentality can do a lot of psychological damage to the young athlete. Many coaches will yell at their young athletes, get in their face, and make them feel as though they are not good enough. There are coaches out there that take the game too seriously. They get in arguments about winning and losing. They forget that the kids are there to have a good time and learn how to be a team player.
What?
If you know I'm running the defense as well, you need to be coming and talking to me.
How's you running the defense?
4-4.
You don't even know how to run a 4-3.
Man, I played defense before. I know what I'm doing.
Let's go. Let's chill, man.
Stop touching me.
Look, man, you talking about all this threat and all that stuff like that?
I said give me my space, dog, because
I'm
this
telling
was
you.
used on me like this.
Was I really? Dog, I'm telling you, I'm a grown-ass man, dude, and I'm just telling you right now.
I'm a grown-ass man, too.
And I'm glad you are.
You all up on me, man. I said give me my
But
space.
I guess maybe you're not used to that because another man is all up in you like that,
I
man.
don't like that, dog.
But you think I do?
You all up on me, man. So if I bust him in his mouth right now,
But
that's
that's it. Why are we gonna do that in front of the kids? It's about the kids right
It
now.
can't be about the kids.
The kids are watching this. The kids are watching this.
Hey, man, let's just leave it alone.
Hey, we men. We can talk about this.
If we gonna talk, we're gonna talk.
You know, we're having disagreements right at game time.
In a recent study by Derek Krieger, a professor of sociology at Penn State, used a national database of 7,000 students to examine the violent outbreaks of athletes involved in contact sports. The study was not to see if the athletes will become murderers, but to see if they had any violent tendencies such as fighting. He examined athletes that were involved in contact sports, including football, wrestling, and hockey, and athletes involved in non-contact sports like tennis, basketball, and volleyball. He found that football players and wrestlers have a 40% greater chance of violent tendencies than other athletes. For the football players and wrestlers that only associate themselves with other football players and wrestlers have a 45% chance of becoming more violent, opposed to a tennis player with a 10% chance of becoming violent. On the other hand, there are benefits of young children participating in contact sports. Playing sports can allow for a child to establish a work ethic at a younger age. Sports require effort and commitment, which will enhance their ability to work with individuals in school and in later life. With hard work comes success, and establishing this at a young age, it sets an understanding on how to work hard. It also allows for the child to learn about time management and self-regulation. With the combination of sports and school, the young athletes are able to figure out what time management is and how to make it useful in their daily lives. Getting the athlete to practice with proper gear will teach them how to stay organized and say no to other activities that can be detrimental to them. With time management skills, and young athletes is able to succeed in school and on the field. Another benefit of youth sports is that it is a place to make friends. Some children can be very shy and have a hard time making friends at school, but when they are put on a team, it allows them to meet new people and start developing friendships. To conclude this video, I would like to say that youth sports in general can be a great place for a child to make friends, build up life skills such as time management and developing a work ethic. But there are also a lot of negatives to youth sports, especially contact sports. When a young child is put into an environment where they are at risk for harm, they are allowing themselves to become susceptible to brain injuries such as concussions, violent tendencies, and also psychological risks that will affect their mental health. So referring back to the question of should parents be allowing their children to participate in contact sports, no, they should not. In order to ensure the safety and well-being of their child, children should not be involved in contact sports.